Hey, everybody, welcome to a special Monday edition of Jesse Green Live. Why we're on Monday is because today is the fourth anniversary of the start of Key 13 Films. And Key 13 Films was the company that made the movie that me and my guest starred in, Anna Key. And so today we're going to show you the world premiere of the trailer for Anna Key. So now I want to introduce you to one of my favorite people in the whole world, an awesome actress and just a great person overall. And she's coming to us from LA, Abigail Hendricks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abigail Hendricks, and I am so excited to be on this show today. And we'll chat and we'll have fun. It's going to be great.
Well, I'm excited to have you because I haven't seen you for 4 months, five
I
months.
know it's been a while now, and I moved
Yeah,
to a whole new city. So,
I know you moved from Chicago. You had to
Mhm.
get further away from me. I think it was something with the
That's running.
stalking order that I couldn't be within 1,000
Yes,
miles of you. So
right. The whole country. Mhm.
yes, you moved completely across the country. So I'm safe now. And
Yes.
I don't think there's anything on there about telecommunications. We can,
No, right. This is kind of a timeless void that we're
yeah, I
just
just can't hang out. I just can't hang outside your house anymore.
right, right.
You know,
Makes sense. Yeah, we understand.
okay, okay. So start off. How is LA treating you?
Well, I am coming from Chicago, so the very first obvious change in my life is that there's sun all the time, and that's amazing. I am someone who really cares about just like the environment I'm in. So, although I loved my community in Chicago and so many parts of Chicago, the 7 months out of the year that you couldn't really hang out outside were really tough for me. So, I just finished celebrating my 25th birthday here in LA, and it was sunny and I got to wear a sundress and just be out and about. And so in that way it's really treating me well. Um, and then on in terms of the acting front, I've started doing some student films and sort of getting to know both like the comedy scene here as well as just the acting scene and starting to get into those rooms here and building my artistic community here. So it's been very exciting and all happens really fast. But yeah.
Oh, that's good. Comedy scene. You're going to do stand-up comedy.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not doing stand-up comedy, although I am very funny. I just enjoy stand-up comedy. I'm just getting to know
Okay,
people.
okay. I can understand you wanting to be out there in the sunshine. I used
Yes.
to live up in Modesto,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
just over from a little south and over from San Francisco, over in the
Yeah,
San
beautiful.
Joaquin Valley. I
Yeah.
know, I know when I lived out there, the only question about what the weather was going to be the next day is whether it was going to be over 100 or under 100.
Isn't that the question? Is
You
it
know?
gonna be sunny or cloudy? Like, who's to
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you been out to the ocean yet?
I've been out to the ocean once. I've been really busy with so many other things, but there are a lot of like hikes I want to do and going to the ocean. So yeah, I'll get there.
And you're where at in LA now?
I'm in Glendale actually, which is a sort of little tucked away. It's kind of within the larger LA, but it's its own little place. It's quiet. I like it.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So you like it out there. That's good.
I love it, and these are where the opportunities are for me at this moment in my life. So that I mean, ultimately, that was really why I came here. So I'm excited to get started.
You
I'm
didn't think
starting.
you
Mhm.
didn't think about moving to Atlanta?
I didn't think about moving to Atlanta. I guess I have never really thought about why not. I'm from the DC area originally, and so New York was always like a possibility in my mind. But there's something about the desert and the sort of expansiveness of LA that always felt really exciting and fresh and like me. I know before I moved, I talked to some people who were like, "Wait, yeah, you seem like you would be there." And that feels right.
Yeah, you seem like you'd fit into LA.
Thanks. I don't know what that means, but yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either, but
You're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, just know that Atlanta has taken over Hollywood as the biggest movie production place in the country.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
I know Netflix and all, a lot of the subscription
Hmm.
channels are all based in Atlanta.
Yeah, that is true. And I do believe that some of the things that shoot in Atlanta cast out of Los Angeles. So that's also a
Okay.
part of it, is just
Well,
knowing
that's
the world.
yeah,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you can only shoot in Atlanta. So
Precisely. So
well, that's
yes.
good. That's good.
Mhm.
It's good to see you. It's been oh, we worked together over an expanse of a year, but
Yeah, so fun.
like two segments. We had like a
Mhm.
7-month hiatus in
Mhm.
Anarchy, but
Mhm.
let's talk about Anarchy.
Sure, let's do it.
To me, that was I've been associated with financing and all over 90 movies now. I've
Mhm.
probably been in about 50 movies.
Mhm.
This was like my second or third starring role, even though you're the star, I'm the co-star. I guess we're
If
you
we're to
get
get
you
specific.
get top billing, but I'm like, but I felt, Abigail, that this was the first movie that I really got a chance to act in.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm,
I told you from the very beginning, the first day I ever met you, when we hired you as Anna Key, that you were
mhm.
going to have to help me or I was going to look like crap in those scenes. And I truly, and I mean, I tell anybody this, that um, if it wouldn't have been for all those Zoom calls that we went through practicing,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have looked as good as Anna Key as what I wouldn't have looked as good as what you made
Yeah.
me. And it was so easy as an actor working off of you
Thank
because
you.
you were just, you know, you're by far the best actress that I've ever worked with. Now, I don't
Thank
know
you.
if that's saying a whole lot because, you know, working from Hagerstown, Maryland, but you were just a charm to work with.
Thank you, Jesse. Likewise, it was so fun for me as well. And so a little bit of background too is I grew up in the DC area doing a lot of theater. That was sort of my main thing as a kid. And then when college came around, I auditioned for conservatories, for acting conservatories. And I ended up going to DePaul University in Chicago at the theater school and to study acting. So I had 4 years of very specifically like theater school training, which was amazing. And one of the gifts of Anna Key for me was it provided me sort of a playground to translate a lot of the skills that I learned in acting school on stage into a film environment. And so I feel like, Jesse, something that you brought to me was an experience in at least on sets and in front of a camera. And then we just were able to then, it felt very important to me that we had a personal relationship, that we could feel comfortable with each other so that if something came up um, or yeah, anything just like, or yeah, literally if anything came up, that we could actually have rapport and talk it through and not just keep going. Like I know sometimes it's easier to just keep going and pretend nothing happened, but yeah, it was fun to then get to know you on these Zooms that where we worked together and we sort of figured out what kind of people this Anarchy and Danny were, like who they are, who we are, and then what we bring to it. And so, yeah, it was an awesome, like, I really do think of it as like such a cool playground experience for me. I had definitely never led a feature film before. That's like an entirely new experience. I've done shorts here and there in Chicago and now out here, but yeah, it was definitely the first for me as well. So I'm grateful that you were so welcoming and the whole process was so cool.
And the chemistry between us was from the time you walked in the room.
We can banter. We can
Yeah,
banter.
it was just there, and it just made the because not to give a lot away from the story, but as soon
Couldn't.
as people see the trailer here in a little bit, the story's gonna be there, and
Mhm.
I've seen the trailer. I don't know if you have, but, it was well done because it tells the whole story, but it doesn't tell you anything.
Right, you're like, "What?"
Yeah, you're like,
I've seen, like, some of the trailer, but not really all of it, so this will be a reveal.
you know, I lost my train of thought, and that's tough to do when you're on a podcast. Um, but the in Anna Key, there's I'm kind of a drifter,
Mhm.
and you're the wild child in town,
Mhm.
and we kind of hit it off and form a relationship.
Mhm.
And plus, you have several other relationships.
Mhm.
And,
True.
and Danny is a real, he used to like to use the word Zen guy, just kinda laid back, whatever makes Anna happy is fine with Danny.
Mhm.
What's funny is I've known about this project for probably over 3 years now, so this is 3 years coming together.
Mhm.
And when I first met Matt Anderson, who wrote the original screenplay, and then Amanda Megan came along and they wrote the rest of it together.
Mhm.
Matt told me at that time that he had Danny in this story, but then when he met me, Danny became me, and he kind of
Mhm.
wrote it around me. So for me, that presented a real challenge. Can I go into a movie and act as me?
Mm. Mhm.
Oh, that sounds like that'd be something easy to do, but I think it worked. About the only thing that the difference between Danny and I is, in that whole, the relationship between you and I may not be as forgiving. May not be it. Yeah, that's okay. You know, that's that in the Zen moments that Danny has. They were tough for me to play because that's completely out of my realm. But I've
Mhm.
seen pretty close to the final cut of the movie, and they were able to work around those Zen moments.
Word. Yeah.
Because they were, you were on set with me. Those scenes were my toughest scenes because I just,
Mhm.
watching the stars overhead and the colors in the sunset, and
Mhm.
that's not really me. But
I beg to differ. No, I'm just kidding. Word, yeah.
they were the tough ones. In the shooting of Anna Key, what were the more difficult scenes for you?
Well, I think something that is true about Anna Key is that she does remind me a lot of myself as well, and that was something I don't actually know if I've ever told you this, but I remember I was in Chicago and I was, though, on some of the DMV casting calls because my family is still there, and so I just keep an eye out, and when I first saw the casting call for Anna Key, I just knew I was gonna do it because whatever the blurb said, I was like, "That's me." And I think as I've been in this acting world more and more, specifically the film industry, it's starting to become clear to me that you get cast for who you are, and once you meet that basis of who you are, then you can start to get cast in these other sort of stretch roles. But that beginning part of getting cast for who you are is a very vulnerable experience because yeah, you just have it's not just this character, it's you're also bringing yourself to it. So I guess to answer your question, what were some of the most challenging scenes in Anarchy? I don't actually know, not in the way of, like they were all easy, but I think what actually was the hardest about shooting Anarchy was not any particular scene, it was, like, the amount we were shooting in a short amount of time, and so for me, it was about toggling between this moment versus the moment that happened way back when versus being with Danny versus being with Alexis versus like, so there were these relationships that were happening out of order, which is how you shoot a movie, but in such a short amount of time. That was really what was most challenging, because I think ultimately all of the scenes themselves, they had a way in for me. Yeah.
Yeah, they were, most of the scenes were pretty comfortable for me to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, other than the Zen scenes, and that was only a matter of the ADD kicking in
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
being able to remember the lines because they, I don't think it doesn't matter how good of an actor you are if you go into a character that has, you know, characteristics that you don't, that
Mhm.
makes it difficult
Mm.
becoming verbally getting those words out.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know,
'Cause you're not used to them.
I'm not used to, yeah, I'm not used to looking at the colors in the sky and, and like I said, the Zen moments, they were my only tough part. But most of the scenes, and most of I think most of the scenes I'm in, you're in. I don't think I
Mhm,
have too many scenes just by myself. I've got some scenes with the other co-stars, but I think
mhm,
most scenes I'm in, you're there. And like
mhm,
I said, you being there made it so much more comfortable because we had done those Zoom calls, and
mhm,
in those Zoom calls we went over what the emotions were going to be in that scene,
mhm, mhm,
how we should deliver lines, uh,
mhm,
what the kisses were going to be like, you know,
mhm, mhm,
and it just made it when we got out there, it was just kind of going along with it, you know.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
yeah, so it was a great movie to do, and I agree. You are Anna Key. Well, you are Anna Key in spirit.
Thank you.
I don't think you're Anna Key.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit more of a better communicator than she is, but
Well, yeah, and I don't think you're. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? As free as what Anna Key is. You,
interesting. Use of free.
well, I'm trying to think of politically correct of how to say is promiscuous.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
interesting. Alright.
okay.
Maybe.
I think you're. Oh, okay. I don't know you that well, so okay. But I know as far as the actual spirit of Anna Key, you're Anna Key, and
Yeah.
it was tough when you sent the audition in. I saw it and it was great. But Matt, while this was all putting together, he put out some still pictures to promote the
Mhm.
movie. Well, he
Mhm.
had this little blonde girl,
Mhm.
Anna Key, showed her running through the field, and I don't think he ever really saw her face, but it was this image of this small blonde girl, and so
Mhm.
in my mind, that was Anna Key.
Mhm.
And when you auditioned, um, I thought she doesn't look like Anna Key. That was what he put in my mind. But
Mhm.
the audition sold me, and then, like I said, when you showed up first time in person,
Mhm.
um, that was a sell. I mean, the first time we did any kind of read through that day, we'd only met each other 10 minutes before.
Mhm.
I mean, the chemistry was there,
Mhm.
and it was like, and I think that I know we talked about it when we were doing the Zoom calls that if we could translate what we were doing in the Zoom calls to the movie, it would be a great movie. And
Mhm.
I think we did.
Mhm.
I think we caught those emotions and and put them in there. I know. Russell says hi.
Aw,
Uh,
hi, Russell. Love
I
you.
know. I know. Talking with Russell, he's like, you two nailed it. The scenes that you did, you have to really believe that those emotions were going on. And
Mhm.
it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. It's an awesome story.
Mhm.
And I think people are gonna enjoy it when they see it. I mean, it's one the script, has been submitted to 20 film festivals now. It's
Mhm.
won 18 and 2 honorable mentions. So it's won something in every film festival.
Mhm.
And in the movie business, there's 3 movies that get made. The one that's written, the one that's shot, and the one that's edited.
Mhm.
And we know the screenplay is good because it's won 20 out of 20 film festivals.
Mhm.
Um, the acting has been top notch,
Mhm.
and the editing has been awesome. I know you haven't seen the finished product yet,
Mhm.
but you're gonna love it. You are gonna love
Good.
it. It come together, and yeah, you were exactly right. When you shoot a movie, you shoot it out of sequence. So
Mhm.
lots of times you have to come up with emotions and reactions to something you haven't experienced yet.
Right.
And I guess that's why why they call it acting. You
I
know,
guess, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know,
you put yourself in the circumstances. Mm.
yeah, I know. I find it. I love acting because for those weekends that we shot, I was somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not the kind of guy that I have to uh, get into the character and stay that character the whole weekend. I can sit
Yeah.
here talking to you, and they say, "Okay, time to go on set," and I can walk on set and become that person.
Mhm, mhm,
I don't have to stay that person the whole weekend.
mhm.
This When we were shooting this wouldn't have been bad to stay Danny because for me, this was one of the few characters that I've played where I'm a really nice guy. You know?
Yeah, that's true. You don't always
Most,
do that.
yeah, most of the time I'm a serial killer or a real asshole. It just
There's the
goes with you.
casting.
It goes with the age and the face.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But and I've told you this before, but I want to thank you for taking
Mhm.
on a role like this because there's a couple years difference between us. I
Just a
know,
few.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. When you watch the first podcast, Russell was my guest on the
Uh,
first podcast, and we were talking about the age difference, and I said, "Yeah, there was a little bit." I said, "I think she's like 51, 52 now."
obviously, but she looks great.
Yeah, hey, hey, folks, this is what Hollywood will do for you at 52 years old.
This is funny.
Will make you look like this. No,
We love all of it.
you just
Sprinkle
turned
everything.
25, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah,
Mhm,
so,
mhm,
I thank you for taking on a role like this. I
mhm,
know in the movie, I think Danny was supposed to be in his early 60s,
mhm,
something like
mhm,
that. So, 60 and 24 at the time. That's a
mhm.
pretty good age difference. But,
Very
uh,
good. Mhm.
you know, but this movie, I hope it doesn't come off to people as that they only look at the movie for that's a strange relationship.
Yeah, that was something you go ahead and then I'll say what I
I don't think in this relationship, I mean, in this movie, that relationship ever looked weird.
that was something that you and we talked a lot about leading up to it as well, because I'm part of the reason I wanted to do this movie, I was excited about this movie, was just for the opportunity of trying, just seeing what it could be. And I come from a lineage of acting that is very much about like stretching your sense of self to become to literally become this person. And for me, it honestly is not. I am someone who loves wide, deeply, all the things like that is just a part of what I, as Abigail Hendricks, bring into the world. And so for me, imagining a girl in these particular circumstances falling in love with someone in your character's particular circumstances, that is entirely possible. We humans are full of so many different ways of being. And that was something, Jesse, you and I talked a lot about to make sure that we were on the same page and that we could, as much as we could, because ultimately it's honestly not it's out of our control. It's out of our hands what people perceive, what they really like decide they want to see. But
Yeah.
in terms of you and I, we were like, no, this is a love story. Let's try and honor that as best we can. And so, yeah, I feel very grateful that we did the best we could, and then it's right into other people's hands to decide what they think. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think in this movie, the character Danny came into your life at a very important time,
right,
you know,
yes, she
because
needed
Anna
him.
Anna was just going off. If Danny wouldn't have come into her life, Anna would have just spiraled more and more out of control.
Yeah.
And so I think what Anna saw in Danny was the stabilizing factor.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
I think what Danny saw in Anna was the old him.
Yeah, which is important.
Yeah,
Mhm,
because it not mentioned a lot in the movie, but supposedly Danny's background was I was Danny was pretty wild in his day,
mhm,
you know, but as he got older, settled down, and
mhm,
so he had already been through that craziness that you went through,
mhm.
and so I think it was, you know, the old adage of two ships wandering in the night that just happened
Uh-huh.
to cross paths at the right time,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
you know. People have to watch the movie to see if it worked out or not,
Yes.
and what happens. But
Mhm.
I just never thought our relationship looked that weird on, on in everyday life. You know, people see us together, they might think, that's kind of he must be rich. That would be the first thing. He's got to be rich.
Mhm,
But yeah, I tell you, it was an emotional movie to do.
mhm, mhm,
Uh, I know again, you can ask Russell because, well, Russell and I were talking the other night that, if I think Anakia is going to do well. I think it's going to be hopefully helps both of us in our
mhm,
careers.
mhm,
You know
mhm,
what? Russell and I both agreed that, you know what, if nothing ever comes out of this, Anakia is a movie.
mhm,
My friendship with you and my friendship with Russell,
mhm.
that was worth the whole thing there.
And that's why we do it ultimately because right, the what becomes of something is so deeply out of our control in so many ways. There's so much luck involved. There's skill for sure, but there's so much luck. And so I agree. Like that, as I was saying before, the playground of it all, like the experience of it was so worth it. And so right, it will be awesome if the movie, if other people see it that way. But ultimately, yeah, it's about the experience. It's part of why I love being an actor. I love to experience life.
Yeah, because when you look at it, it looks like actors are, we're there on the screen. So,
Yeah.
we're real important to that movie, but in the
Mhm.
whole scheme of things, we're just puppets
Yeah, we're just
out
right.
there, out there, out there doing what somebody else wrote,
Mhm,
becoming
mhm,
becoming somebody else. And so
mhm,
all we can do as actors is the best we can do to bring those characters to life,
mhm,
and then hope the editing works, and then
mhm,
and then
mhm,
put it out there. We have
mhm,
once it's out there, we have no control of whether people are going to accept it or not.
mhm,
You know, I know Matt wants to put it in the festival circuit, which I think a movie like this will do well in the festival circuit.
mhm,
Obviously, the script is done well, but I think the movie will do well in the festival. It's that kind of movie.
mhm.
And the movie wins a few best pictures, and you and I pick up a best actor and a best actress award.
Right, right, obviously.
I just want one. I just I
I
just
hope for one for you, Jesse, at least.
well, you're going to get it way before me. Let me tell you, everybody, in any scene that I'm in with Abigail, she's the star. I'm just
We're in
like
it.
a potted plant somewhere. That's
You're a
speaking.
part of it, Jesse.
Yeah, that's speaking lines. Okay, well, you know what? It's been good chatting with you.
So
You
good.
sometimes we get on the phone and it's just like 2 hours later we're
Blah, 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 blah,
like,
blah.
oh my God, look what time it is. don't know that's going to happen with the time difference now because I'm going to be
Yeah,
sleepy when you're
gotta
in
get
your
sleep.
when
I'll be
you're in the prime
partying.
when you're in the prime of your day. But
Yeah.
let's get to why we're here.
Mm,
This is the world premiere of the trailer for Anna Key. And I don't want to start thanking people because I forget people and I some names get a little blurry. But I want to thank everybody I worked with, especially Abigail, but everybody else that worked with us on the film, behind the scenes, photography, sound, whatever, to turn this into what I think is going to be an awesome movie. So, without any further ado, boy, is that a cliche movie line? Without
sure. Say
without
it.
without any further ado, here is the world premiere of the trailer for our movie, Anna Key.
That girl is fire and damnation in an angel's body. I can't tell you how many men and women have tried to clip her, and she's driven them all straight to hell.
Danny, Greg, come in, brother.
Who's that guy with Grover? I never seen him before.
That's Danny. That's Grover's old war buddy from Desert Storm.
You need to leave her alone. That young thing has a lot of pain.
Ever since her parents' death, she's been pulled in a million directions.
We all handle grief differently. It's just a human condition. I'd just like to see more of you.
What's there to see? I'm a disaster.
Your cracks are going to show. They always show.
They make me who I am.
They show. You go.
It's clear to me that you have some intense feelings for this guy, and you gotta do something about it.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Don't make it stop.
Oh wow.
So there you saw the whole trailer. What do you think?
Wonderful. Here we are.
Like
Next.
like I said, I think the trailer told you everything about the movie, but didn't tell you anything,
There you go.
which is exactly what a trailer is supposed to do. I think anybody that sees the trailer is going to wanna
Be
see the
interested.
movie.
Yeah.
So, well, Abigail, it was great chatting with you. I can't believe something like 30 minutes is over, but I want to thank you for taking time out of your day. I know folks behind the scenes, she wasn't feeling good today.
But I bounced back.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
So
feel
that's the actress in you.
there you go. We're
As
live.
as soon as the camera goes off, you'll be like,
No, I'm
I can't breathe. But I appreciate taking your time out and being part of this. This is a new adventure for me, because I said I was going to take a little bit of time off of acting It's not going to be permanent, just a hiatus, because it's a lot of pressure in acting,
Yes.
and so I'm just taking a little bit of time off, and my buddy Jay here offered, hey, you want to do a podcast? And I've been wanting to try one for years. So,
Awesome.
so you're my second guest on here, and this was a special Monday edition because of the 13th being the 4 years. So Matt Anderson and everybody else on that set, thank you for making an awesome movie that I think Abigail and I both are going to be proud of being part of down the road. So Abby, thank you for joining us. Any final last words? Where can we see you? Anything coming up?
Yeah, I mean, feel free to follow me on Instagram is where I post my most recent work. It's Abigail Louise, ABIGAILOUISE. And otherwise, I hope to see you again soon, my friend. Thank you. Congratulations on this podcast, Jesse. It's awesome.
Thanks for joining me. And folks, if you can believe, if anything happens good in Abigail's life, it's going to be on my Facebook too. So, but go follow her, because I think she's got what it takes to make it in Hollywood.
Here we are. Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining me today, and thank you, Abigail, and we'll see you in 2 days on the 16th for my regular scheduled podcast.
Well, there we go.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Okay. Bye.